Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our August edition of our Traffic Talk. I'm Jeanne Ingersoll, our Director of Business Development for Shop4Track Analytics. I am joined by our Global Leader of Retail Consulting, Mr. Grant Gustafson. Grant, always great to be with you. I can't believe it's August.
This is insane. These feel like they're coming quicker and quicker every single video, but it's good to be here, Jeanne.
This is insane, but it's so great to be with you. You know, back to school, maybe winding down. But holiday traffic isn't quite here yet. We know that retailers are in the thick of preparing for it right now. For many retailers, we're entering one of the most important operational transition periods that we see throughout the year. The question then becomes for retailers, how do you reset operations, prepare for holiday, and still maximize every customer opportunity that you have in front of you while maintaining the experience that you want to deliver on and that you've been working so hard to create? So Grant, what can you share with us?
Yeah, it's true that, September and October are a little bit softer months from a retail traffic or sales perspective. A lot of retailers view them as kind of a shoulder season between peak periods of back to school and the holiday. But, regardless of the time of year, this still is a critical time for retailers. Shoppers are still coming into stores. They still have really high expectations, and they've never had more choice than they have today. So it's absolutely critical that retailers are ready for them and able to maximize, each and every single footstep that is coming into their store. When we start to think of, this period overall, this is a great time of year for retailers to really start to strengthen their operations as they prepare for holidays, making sure that they're maintaining their staffing levels so that they're maximizing that experience and servicing every customer that comes in the store, but then also making sure that their inventory levels are right, as they start doing these holiday resets. So it is a critical time of year for a lot of retailers for a variety of reasons.
Really critical. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of things that retailers need to juggle and pay attention to. Taking all that into consideration, what data should retailers be looking at or using as a foundation to help kind of make some of these really critical decisions?
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously traffic is incredibly critical this time of year, just to make sure that you're maximizing every footstep. But what we're seeing is a lot of retailers are starting to dig even deeper, to really understand what are the behaviors that are driving outcomes within their store. So whether that's measuring things like dwell time, shopper engagement, or abandonment rates, to really understand, how the shopper's moving through your store, where they're spending time, where they're not spending time, and maybe where they're disengaging, from the overall experience. It's really important that ahead of the holiday season that we really try to understand what are the behaviors that are driving those outcomes in stores.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's no longer just about, hey, we know we need to increase conversion or we need to impact it. It's about dissecting the behaviors that are ultimately going to help lead to increased conversion or an increased basket size as a result of that. So, and you and I both know firsthand that that's exactly where Orbit AI comes into play and why our advanced analytics have been such a feature adding value component for our retail partners, because it helps them solve things exactly like that, using insights around employee engagement, dwell time, abandonment, shopper demographics. Even retailers can take it a step further or a level deeper, just like you said, and understand really what's happening inside of the store at a department level. And if shoppers are spending a significant amount of time in a category, but conversion isn't following that, it could indicate many things. It could indicate a staffing opportunity. It could indicate a tasking versus a selling opportunity. It can indicate an execution opportunity. So I think you gave a couple of examples, but another one could be even if certain demographics are engaging heavily in a certain department, retailers can align their associates with the right expertise to support the customer needs that deliver a more consistent experience. And that's like the golden key to brand loyalty, especially inside a brick and mortar store.
Yeah, that's really what makes this time of year so critical or important, is that, this time of year is really a rehearsal for the holiday season. So, you know, when we can understand how people are behaving in your store, combine that with your existing perimeter traffic, you really get this holistic picture of what is driving your outcomes, right? And you know, this is a great time to really solidify your labor plans. You know, it's important to make sure you're understanding not only labor at the store, but all the way down to the department level, you know, and thinking about how, you know, tasking can impact overall behaviors and performance of the store. But really, this is just a great time of year to really make sure that, you know, you're getting your store and you're building that muscle ahead of the all important holiday season.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think the biggest trend that we're seeing is that continued shift towards more experience driven shoppers who really care about that. That's what's getting them into your store. Consumers are looking for convenience, they're looking for expertise and really meaningful interactions. And the retailers that succeed and are going to continue to succeed even during this downtime aren't simply preparing inventory for holiday, just like you said. They're really preparing their people by backing into the behaviors that are going to impact and hopefully generate a really successful performance for the holiday. So by turning shopper insights into these types of actions, retailers can really transform this transitionary period into more of a competitive advantage heading into the busiest season of the year. So thank you for tuning in. And if you're not familiar, ShopperTrack partners with over 2,100 retailers globally. We help them count traffic every single day. We look at more advanced analytics down into the store level. And if you'd like to understand how Orbit AI can help optimize scenarios within your specific environment or help influence the customer experience or enhance it or uncover any sort of additional operational opportunities ahead of the holiday, connect with Grant and I on LinkedIn. We love talking about this stuff. We would love to continue the conversation with you. And thank you for watching. See you next month in September.
Bye, Jeannie.
Thanks, Grant.